The crash that shook the sky. The night sky was quiet. The stars were shining like tiny diamonds, and the small town of Ridgevale was fast asleep. Everything felt calm, until the sky cracked open with a roar. A streak of fire tore across the heavens. It moved too fast to be a plane and too low to be a meteor. People stepped out of their homes looking up in fear and wonder. Some grabbed their phones to record it. Others just ran inside and locked their doors. In the forest just beyond the town, something massive crashed into the earth. The ground shook. Birds scattered. Animals fled in panic. Flames rose between the trees, and a strange blue light pulsed through the smoke. Eli, a 22-year-old mechanic, was still working late in his small garage on the edge of town. When he heard the boom and felt the tremor, he stepped outside. He looked toward the woods and saw the sky glowing with colors he had never seen before. Blue, violet, and silver. Most people would run the other way. But Eli didn't. He picked up his flashlight, grabbed his old leather jacket, and got on his motorbike. Something inside him, a feeling he couldn't explain, told him he had to go. As he rode through the dark forest path, the air grew colder. His headlight flickered. The trees seemed to lean in closer. Strange sounds echoed through the trees, metal creaking, faint humming like a machine trying to breathe. Eli stopped when he saw it. There, half buried in the earth, was something not from this world. A large ship, smooth and silver, with glowing lines running across its surface. Smoke rose from cracks in its body. Pieces of metal were scattered around like broken armor. He walked closer, his boots crunching over burned leaves and soft ash. The ship looked like it had been in a battle. Claw marks, scorch burns, and dents covered its surface. Eli's heart pounded. This was real. This wasn't a dream. Then he heard it. A soft sound, like singing. No, not singing. More like calling. He moved toward a shattered section of the ship and peeked inside. The inside was dark, but something was glowing faintly. Eli climbed through the opening, careful not to touch anything. Inside it was quiet. Strange symbols lit up on the walls. It looked like the inside of a living creature, not a machine. And then he saw her. A girl. No, not a girl. An alien. She was lying on the floor, her body covered in a light, shining armor that looked like glass. Her skin was pale blue, her hair silver and floating as if underwater. Her eyes were closed, and a soft light pulsed from a crystal on her chest. Eli froze. She looked peaceful, but also fragile. Hurt. Was she even alive? Suddenly, a noise behind him made him jump. Click. He turned just in time to see a small floating drone rise from the shadows. Its eye blinked red, and a weapon unfolded from its side. "Target detected," it said in a cold, robotic voice. Eli threw himself to the ground as a laser shot passed his head, burning a hole through the wall. He rolled, grabbed a metal rod, and swung it at the drone. It dodged, charging another shot. The alien girl stirred. Her eyes opened, bright silver like stars. She raised a hand weakly. A symbol glowed on her palm. The drone froze. Eli didn't wait. He smashed it with the rod, breaking it into sparks and pieces. Breathing hard, he looked at the alien girl. She stared at him, confused, weak. She tried to speak, but no words came out. Only a soft, musical sound. "You're okay," Eli said, not sure if she could understand. "You're safe now." Her eyes fluttered closed again. He picked her up carefully. She was lighter than he expected. He carried her out of the wreck and back to his bike. The forest was still glowing faintly behind him as he drove back toward town. Something in the trees watched them. Something tall, dark, and silent. It didn't move. It didn't blink. It just waited. The princess and the secret code, the sun, had not yet risen. Eli rode through the empty roads, his heart beating fast. He held the alien girl tightly on his back as his old motorbike roared through the night. Every few seconds, he looked behind him, afraid something, or someone, was chasing them. The girl was cold. Her skin, pale and glowing, felt fragile in his arms. She hadn't moved since the moment she passed out in the forest, but the crystal on her chest still pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. Eli didn't go home. He took her to the only place he knew was safe, his workshop, an old building on the edge of Ridgevale, filled with tools, machines, and broken car parts. No one ever came here, not even the police. He pushed open the door and carried her inside. He laid her down gently on a soft couch he kept in the back room. Then he locked the doors, shut the windows, and killed the lights. He didn't know what he had just brought into his life, but something told him it was bigger than anything he'd ever faced. Eli sat beside her and waited. An hour passed, then 2. Outside, the wind began to blow hard. Thunder rolled far in the distance. Suddenly she moved. Her fingers twitched. Her chest rose and fell. And then, her eyes opened. Eli leaned in, startled. She looked at him with pure, silver eyes wide with confusion. Her lips moved and a strange language flowed out. Soft, musical, and completely alien. I don't understand, Eli whispered. She frowned, clearly frustrated. Then she reached into a pouch on her belt and pulled out a small glass-like device. She pressed it to her neck. It blinked with a soft blue light. She spoke again, but this time the words came in English. Who are you? Her voice was soft, but there was strength behind it. My name's Eli, he said. I found you in the forest. You crashed. She looked around, blinking slowly. Then she sat up, wincing in pain. This world. Is it called Earth? Yeah. How long was I unconscious? Maybe 4 hours. She closed her eyes and sighed. That's not enough. They will find me soon. Who? Eli asked. Who's after you? The girl looked straight at him. My name is Lisara. I am the last living heir to the House of Valari. My people call me a princess. But right now, I am just a fugitive. Eli didn't know what to say. He had saved a princess, an alien princess. Your ship, he said. It was attacked, wasn't it? She nodded. Yes, we were escaping the siege of Karelia. Traitors inside my own. Council sold our location. I barely escaped. My ship's engines were damaged in the jump. I crashed here by accident, but now, they know where I am. Eli frowned. They followed you? Not just them, she whispered. Others, older ones, machines built for only one thing, hunt and kill. She stood slowly and looked around. The workshop. Then her eyes stopped on one of Eli's old radios. May I? He nodded. She touched the radio. Blue lines of light flowed from her fingers and into the device. The radio glowed and then began to transform. Within seconds, it was no longer a radio. It was something else. Something alive. Eli stared. How did you do that? Lisara smiled faintly. Your technology is primitive, but it speaks the same basic language as ours. Code, energy, shape. With the right tools, anything can be changed. The device beeped. A map appeared in the air above it, holographic and spinning. Slowly, it showed Earth, and then 3 red dots appeared circling above the planet. What is that? Eli asked. Those are not stars, she said. Those are hunter ships. His blood ran cold. They're here already? Yes, she said. But they don't know exactly where I am. Not yet. My crystal shield is damaged, but still working. Once it fails, they will come. Then what do we do? He asked. How do we stop them? Lisara looked at him. I need something from my ship. She said, a small cube, black with silver lines. It holds the royal code. It is the only way I can send a message to my people. If they hear me, they might come. They might help. Eli thought for a moment. The ship was far, and now dangerous. But if she was telling the truth, then maybe, just maybe, he had to help her. I'll go get it, he said. Lisara grabbed his wrist. No, they may have already placed sentries there. Then come with me. She hesitated. I'm not leaving. You alone here, Eli said. If they find you. Before he could finish, the workshop lights flickered. Then a voice came from outside. Mr. Walker, a man called, calm and cold. This is Agent Davenport from Homeland Security. We'd like to ask you a few questions about the strange object that fell near your property last night. Lysara froze. Eli stepped back. They found us. Hunted by Shadow Selly's breath caught in his throat. He moved silently toward the front window of his workshop, pulling back the curtain just enough to peek out. A black SUV sat quietly in the street, engine still running. The man who had spoken, tall figure in a dark suit, stood in front of the door with two other agents behind him. Their suits were clean, official, and cold. They didn't look like local police. They looked like something else. Something more dangerous. Lysara crouched, low behind a table of tools, her silver eyes locked with Eli's. She whispered, "They're not human." Eli blinked. "What?" She pointed to her ear, then tapped into the device she had built from his radio. The holographic map flashed again, this time showing red, lines moving toward their location. 3 pulses blinked right outside. "They're using human faces," she said. "But I can feel it. Their minds are synthetic. Hunters sent by the enemy, part of the Shadow Protocol." Outside, the lead agent knocked again, harder this time. "Mr. Walker, we have authorization to enter your property under national emergency laws. Open the door." Now. Eli's brain raced. If they were really alien machines disguised as humans, then opening the door was suicide. He turned to Lysara. "There's a hidden exit in the back. Leads to the alley. We can use it." She shook her head. "Too risky. They've likely surrounded us." "Then, what do we do?" Lysara stood slowly. The crystal on her chest began to glow brighter. "We fight." Before Eli could ask what she meant, the front wall of the workshop exploded. The agents didn't knock this time. They came through the smoke and dust with glowing red eyes and weapons that didn't belong on Earth. Thin, silent rifles with no barrels, just smooth metal that hummed with power. Eli grabbed a wrench from the table. It was stupid, but it was all he had. He threw it at the first one. The agent caught it in midair without even blinking. "Unauthorized life form detected," it said in a flat, mechanical voice. Then the shooting started. Blasts of blue energy tore through the air. Eli dove behind, a metal cabinet as sparks flew overhead. Lysara raised her hands and her armor shifted, like it came alive. A shield formed around her as one of the blasts hit it directly. She grunted in pain but stood her ground. Eli crawled toward her. "We have to get out of here. I can't hold them forever," she shouted. Then from her belt she pulled out a small sphere. She whispered something in her native tongue and threw it to the floor. A pulse of white light exploded outward. The walls of the workshop warped and everything froze for just a second. The agent stopped moving, frozen mid-step, mid-blast. "Temporal lock," Lysara explained quickly. "Only last 20 seconds, run." Eli didn't waste time. They dashed through the ruined back door and into the alley, running as fast as they could. The rain began to fall, hard and fast, washing the smoke from the air. But something followed them. Eli heard it first. A clicking sound, like claws on metal. Then he saw it, a shape above them. On the rooftops, a hunter. It didn't wear a disguise. It wasn't human-shaped. It looked like a nightmare. Tall, thin, with sharp limbs and a head that shifted shape every few seconds. Its eyes glowed like twin suns and its body moved like smoke. Lysara stopped. "Get down!" The hunter dropped from the rooftop, landing in front of them with a metallic screech. It stared directly at Lysara. "Royal blood detected," it said. Then it leaped. Lysara raised both hands. A burst of energy shot from her palms, but the hunter dodged, rolling and slashing at her side. Her armor cracked and she fell to one knee. Eli grabbed a metal pipe from the alley and charged forward with a roar. He hit the hunter's back. It turned its head, but not its body, and stared at him, curious. "Unknown defender," it said. "Threat level, low." It raised a claw to strike him, But Lysera screamed something ancient, and her crystal burst with blinding light. The hunter staggered, shrieking as if in pain. "Now, Eli!" she yelled. He swung the pipe with all his strength. It connected, with the hunter's head, and the creature shattered into pieces of liquid metal. Breathing hard, Eli dropped the pipe. "I thought you said I was a low-level threat," he muttered. Lysera smiled faintly, her arm bleeding. "You just upgraded." Sirens echoed in the distance. Real human authorities this time. They couldn't stay here. Eli helped Lysera up. She was weak. The wound in her side was bad. "We need help," Eli said. "There's only one way," she whispered. "You must get the code cube from the ship. Without it, I can't contact the Alliance, and Earth will fall." "Then we'll go back," Eli said. "Tonight." She shook her head. "No, you'll go. Alone." "What? No, I'm not leaving." "You?" Lysera touched his face gently. "If I go back to the wreck, they will track me instantly. But you? They don't know what you are yet. Not fully." "What does that mean?" She looked at him, eyes filled with something he didn't understand yet. "Eli, you're not just a mechanic anymore. The guardian beast." Awakes, the forest was darker than before. Eli moved through the trees with a flashlight in one hand and a pistol in the other. The gun wasn't much, an old revolver from his late father, but it gave him comfort. And tonight, he needed all the courage he could find. His boots crunched against dead leaves. The air was cold, damp and silent. No birds, no wind, nothing moved. The forest didn't feel like Earth anymore. Since the night of the crash, things had changed. Animals fled the area. Trees near the crash site had turned black, their bark twisted with veins of glowing blue. Small electrical charges sparked across the ground, leftovers from alien tech still pulsing underground. But Eli kept walking. Lysera was counting on him. He reached the edge of the wreckage at midnight. The alien ship still lay there, half buried in a smoking crater, wrapped in vines and strange crystals. The ground shimmered beneath his feet. Eli swallowed hard and stepped into the wreck. It felt like entering another world. The air changed, warmer, heavier. The inside of the ship still glowed faintly. Walls pulsed like skin. Wires hung from the ceiling like veins. The scent of metal, ozone, and something sweet, almost like flowers, filled the air. Eli remembered what Lysera had said. "Find the cube. Black with silver lines, it holds the royal code." He moved carefully, ducking under beams, stepping over broken panels. Then he heard it. A growl. Low. Deep. Not human. He froze. Then, from the shadows, something crawled forward. Not a drone, not a machine. This was something else. It looked like a beast. Four-legged, but made of metal and bone. Its body shifted with every step, like it was changing shape constantly. Eyes glowed red, but its mouth opened wide, revealing rows of spinning blades instead of teeth. Eli backed up slowly. His pistol shook in his hand. "Easy," he whispered. "I'm just here to grab something." The beast growled again, louder this time. Then it charged. Eli fired. The bullet hit, bounced off. Useless. He turned and ran, leaping over wires, sliding through half-open doors. The beast crashed through everything behind him, screaming with a sound that wasn't fully alive. He ducked into a side chamber, slamming the door shut behind him. The beast hit the door, hard. It shook but held. Barely. Eli turned. The room was small, circular, lit with floating orbs of light. In the center was a pedestal, and there, floating just above it, was the cube. Black. Silver lines glowing like veins. He stepped forward carefully. The moment his hand touched the cube, the room reacted. Walls lit up with alien symbols. Light poured from the floor, and a voice echoed in the chamber. DNA confirmed. Royal Guardian selected. Initializing bond. "What?" Eli whispered. The cube dissolved into particles and shot into his chest. He gasped, falling to his knees. Images flooded his mind. Stars, war, a royal family fighting in a throne room. Lysera running, A hand reaching out. Ancient machines. Fallen guardians. Death. Then, power. A warmth filled his body, starting in his chest and moving outward like fire and lightning. His skin glowed faintly. His eyes changed, briefly flickering. Silver. The door exploded behind him. The beast roared and leapt. But Eli didn't run. He raised his hand, and a shield formed in front of him, silver and gold alive with energy. The beast slammed into it and bounced back, shrieking. Eli stared at his hand. What am I? His voice sounded different, deeper, stronger. He stepped forward. The beast attacked again. This time, he dodged fast, too fast for a normal human. Instinct took over. He spun behind the creature and slammed his palm into its back. Energy burst from his hand and the beast collapsed, twitching. Smoke rose. The ship groaned. A voice echoed again, this time from everywhere. Guardian online. System awakening, the ship responded. Broken panels repaired themselves, lights grew brighter. The air shimmered. Eli walked out of the chamber, stronger than before, but he wasn't alone. In the shadows, another figure watched him from above. A tall, armored man with red glowing eyes and a half-human face. Agent Voss. He had found the crash site and he had seen everything. Voss smiled. So, the girl gave you the mark. He dropped from the ledge and landed without a sound. Eli raised his new arm, the shield forming again. Stay back, he said. Voss stepped forward, unafraid. You're not like them anymore, Voss said. You felt it, didn't you? The power, the truth. You're meant to be more. I'm not on your side, Eli said coldly. Voss tilted his head. You don't even know what side you're on. Then he vanished, just like that. No sound. No light. Gone. Eli stood alone in the wreck, heart still racing. He had the code. He had power. But now, he had enemies watching from the shadows. And somewhere back in town, Lysara was bleeding. The human weapon, the wind howled through Ridgevale like a warning from the stars. Eli's motorcycle screamed down the highway, his hands gripping the bars tightly. His body still hummed with the energy from the cube. Sparks flickered along his arms every time he blinked. His veins glowed faintly under his skin. Whatever the ship had done to him, it was changing him. He didn't know if that was a good thing, but he didn't care. He had to get back to Lysara. He reached the edge of town just before dawn. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. He took the side alleys, avoiding cameras and main roads. Something in his gut told him someone was watching. His workshop had been burned to the ground. Only smoke and ashes remained. Eli's heart dropped. No. Then he saw it. Faint tracks in the ash. Boot prints. A trail of blood. He followed it through the back streets until he reached the edge of a closed-down subway station. Boarded up. Condemned. But the trail led straight through a broken gate. Eli didn't hesitate. He stepped into the darkness. The old station was cold, filled with dust and silence. Rats scurried across broken tiles. Shattered glass crunched beneath his boots. But somewhere deep in the tunnels, there was light, a faint glow. Blue. Alive. He followed it. Then he heard her. You came back? Lysara sat on the ground, leaning against the wall of the tunnel. Her face was pale, but her eyes still burned silver. Her side was wrapped in fabric, stained with dark blood. She was breathing hard. I couldn't leave you, Eli said, kneeling beside her. He reached out to help, but she touched his hand, and her eyes widened. Eli, what did you do? He looked down. His skin was glowing. Again? The mark from the cube pulsed on his chest like a second heart. I found the code, he said, but it did something to me. Lysara stared at him. The ship didn't just give you power, it accepted you. The Guardian Protocol chose you. What does that mean? It means, came a voice from the shadows, you're not human anymore. Eli turned instantly. A figure stepped out from the dark, dressed in black armor. a red symbol glowing on his chest. Agent Voss. Except, he didn't look fully human now. His eyes were pure red. Parts of his neck and jaw were replaced by chrome. Circuits pulsed under his skin like veins. "You've done well," Voss said, smiling coldly. "You bonded with the cube. Faster than expected." Eli stood in front of Lysara. "Stay away from her." "Why?" Voss asked. "You think she's your friend? She's using you. That's what her kind does. They hide their truth behind pretty eyes and royalty. But you're different." "I didn't ask for this," Eli growled. "No," Voss said, "but you're perfect for it. The cube doesn't choose easily. And it doesn't choose humans. Not unless—" He stepped closer. "Not unless there's something inside you that was never human to begin with." Eli froze. "What are you talking about?" "Your bloodline," Voss said. "The records we found. Your mother's side vanished from every database after the 1990s. No death record, no family history, no DNA matches. You think that's normal?" Eli's mind raced. "You're lying." "Am I?" Voss asked. "Or did the cube see something in you that not even you knew?" Lysara stood slowly behind him. "Don't listen to him, Eli. His mind is corrupted. The machines have altered his thoughts. He's part of them now." Voss laughed. Funny coming from someone who hasn't told him the whole truth. Eli turned to her. "What truth?" She hesitated. I didn't know for sure. But when you touched the cube, when it accepted you so quickly, I suspected it." "Suspected what?" Lysara looked into his eyes. "You are part of my world." Voss stepped forward again. "And that makes you dangerous to them, to us, to everyone." He raised his arm. A blade unfolded from his wrist. "Come with me, Eli. We'll unlock your true potential. Together we can take Earth back from the stars." "I'm not like you," Eli said coldly. Voss smiled. "Not yet." Then he moved, fast. Eli barely had time to react. He raised his shield, blocking the strike. The force sent him flying back. He rolled, came up on one knee, and sent a blast of energy toward Voss. It struck, but Voss absorbed it with a grin. "You're still learning," he said. "Let me teach you." They fought. Metal clashed with light. Voss moved like a machine. Precise, brutal. Eli moved like instinct. Fast, wild, unpredictable. Every punch cracked the walls. Every blast shook the tunnel. Lysara, still weak, crawled toward a console left in the shadows. She activated a beacon. A symbol rose from it. Ancient, glowing, bright, Voss noticed. "What did you just do?" Lysara smiled through the pain. "I called the Alliance." Voss turned toward her. Eli struck. His palm hit Voss's chest, right over the red symbol. Energy exploded. Voss flew backward, crashing through a wall and disappearing in smoke. Eli dropped to his knees, breathing hard. The mark on his chest faded. For a moment, Lysara reached for him. "You have more power than you know, but it's burning you from the inside. If we don't find the stabilizer, you won't survive." "Where?" Eli asked, barely able to speak. "Underground," she said. "Beneath the old world. Beneath Earth's skin." "What's down there?" Lysara looked at him with fear and hope mixed together. "Something ancient," she said. "Something Earth forgot, and something that remembers you. Earth's ancient." Secret, the tunnels beneath Ridgevale were older than any map. Eli walked ahead, guiding Lysara through the crumbling darkness. Her arm was around his shoulder, her steps weak but steady. Sparks still flickered along Eli's skin, but they were dimmer now, each burst shorter than before. He was burning out. His new power, the energy from the cube, was slowly tearing through, him like fire trapped inside glass. "How far?" he asked, his voice hoarse. Lysara looked around, her silver eyes dim. "Not far. The chamber should be just below the final gate. If it still exists." They stopped at a sealed metal door buried deep beneath the old subway. It didn't look human. Tall, smooth, and marked with glowing lines. No keyhole, no handles. Lysera stepped forward and placed her hand on the surface. A soft tone rang out. Symbols appeared. The door slid open, silently. Beyond it was a staircase. It spiraled down into glowing mist. As they walked, the air changed. It smelled ancient, metallic, and yet alive. The walls around them pulsed with faint light, like veins under skin. Strange carvings lined the stone, pictures of beings with long limbs and star-shaped crowns, holding hands with humans under a sky filled with rings. "What is this place?" Eli asked. "A forgotten alliance," Lysera said. "Long before your history began, Earth was part of something greater. Your ancestors made a promise with mine, to protect the balance between worlds. Then what happened? They were betrayed. The great cities fell, the guardians vanished, and the humans forgot. They reached the bottom of the stairs. The chamber opened wide, circular, massive, glowing with soft white light. Floating above the floor was a stone table, and resting on that table was a crown, not made of gold or jewels. It was made of crystal and energy, spinning slowly, humming with silent power. "That's it," Lysera whispered. "The stabilizer." Eli stepped closer. As he did, the symbols on the walls flared to life. The air grew warmer, and then he saw them, shadows in the light, dozens of frozen figures standing in alcoves carved into the stone. They looked human, but not fully. Tall, regal, wearing armor fused with machines and cloth. Their eyes were closed, their arms crossed over their chests. Guardians. Lysera walked up beside him. "This is where they rest, where they wait." "For what?" Eli asked. "For a human worthy of the bond. One who could awaken the old pact." Eli reached out to the crown. "Wait," Lysera said. "Once you touch it, there's no turning back. The stabilizer will complete your bond. You'll stop burning. But you'll also stop being just human." Eli looked at her. "I'm already not just human." He placed his hands on the crown. The chamber exploded with light. A storm of visions hit him. Rushing stars, ancient battles, guardians riding through the void, humans and aliens side by side, Earth as it once was. A beacon, not a battlefield. The crown melted into his body. His chest burned, but then cooled. The mark glowed, steady now, not flickering, not unstable. He had control. Then everything went still. For a moment, there was peace. Then the sky cracked open. The ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. The frozen guardians stirred in their alcoves. Alarms, alien alarms, echoed through the chamber. Lysera turned toward the wall. A projection appeared, showing the sky above Earth. Ships, hundreds of them, massive, black and silent, hovering like shadows. "The fleet," she whispered. "They've arrived." "Who?" Eli asked. "My enemies," she said. "The usurpers. And not just to hunt me. They're here for Earth." "Why now?" "Because they know the Guardian has awakened," she said. "And they're afraid." A new voice echoed through the chamber. Deep, mechanical, ancient. "Eli. Walker, bearer of the crystal mark. Guardian of the old code. By ancient law, Earth stands under your protection. Do you accept the burden?" Eli stood tall. "Yes." "Then rise, protector," the chamber responded. The guardians in the walls opened their eyes. Blue and gold light filled the space. Armor formed around Eli, light and crystal shaping to his body. His hands shimmered with energy. His mind cleared. Lysera looked at him with awe. "You look like a king." "No," Eli said. "I'm just a mechanic who got lucky." Then the floor opened, and a platform rose beneath them, a hidden hangar. And in it, sleeping in silence, was an ancient ship, sleek, beautiful, glowing. With familiar energy, Lysera smiled. "The last Guardian-class starfighter." Eli nodded. Let's take it for a spin. But before they could move, a loud boom shook the entire chamber. Stone cracked. A massive figure dropped from the ceiling. It was Agent Voss, but changed. No longer half-human. Now, fully reborn, black armor fused to his skin, wings made of metal shards, energy burning in his hands. "Hello again," Voss said. "Miss me?" Eli stepped forward, armor shining, eyes calm. "Round 2, he said. "Let's finish it. The last stand for Earth above Earth." The sky burned silver. Alien warships moved silently across the clouds, their black hulls glowing with red veins. They made no sound, no threats. They simply hovered, waiting, watching. From space, they looked like a storm about to break. But deep beneath the planet's surface, in the lost chamber of the Guardians, one man stood ready. Eli Walker. He no longer looked like the quiet mechanic he once was. His body was now wrapped in crystalline armor that pulsed with living energy. The stabilizer had fused with his soul. The Guardian protocol was fully active. His eyes glowed softly, not with fire but with purpose. Lysara stood beside him, pale but steady. She wore a cloak of her people's past, regal yet battle-worn, and in front of them stood Voss, or what was left of him. His body was twisted beyond recognition. Metal had replaced skin. His voice had turned into a digital growl. The human inside was almost gone. "You think you can stop them?" Voss sneered. "You? One half-blood freak and a fallen princess?" Eli didn't move. "You're afraid. That's why you came here first." Voss's eyes burned red. "I came here to kill you before the truth spreads. Earth belongs to the machines now." "No," Eli said calmly. "Earth remembers who it is." Voss roared and attacked. He moved like lightning, blades spinning from his arms. The ground cracked beneath his feet. But this time, Eli didn't dodge. He met him head-on. The two clashed in a storm of light and shadow. The chamber exploded with force as the battle began. Guardians stepped out from their alcoves, their ancient, eyes glowing, but they did not interfere. This was Eli's fight, his trial. Voss struck again and again, each blow heavier, faster, more vicious. But Eli adapted. His armor shifted to block, to absorb, to counter. His movements became precise, guided not just by instinct, but by something deeper, a memory written into the code of his bloodline. Then, Voss grabbed him by the throat, lifting him off the ground. "You're no guardian," he hissed. "You're just a human pretending to be something more." Eli gritted his teeth, eyes burning. "Then why are you afraid of me?" He raised his hand, and a shockwave burst from his chest. Voss flew backward, crashing into the far wall. Eli landed on one knee, panting. Lysara stepped forward. "The fleet is charging their primary weapon. We have minutes." "Then we take the ship," Eli said, "and we fight." They ran to the platform. The Guardian-class starfighter waited. Elegant, deadly, silent. As Eli stepped into the pilot seat, the ship came alive. Controls responded to his touch like extensions of his mind. Panels opened, lights flickered on, engines hummed with life. Lysara sat beside him, fingers dancing over alien controls. "This ship was built for two," she said. "Guardian and Royal, bonded together." "Good," Eli said. "Then let's remind them what Earth used to be." They launched. From the depths of the Earth, the ship rose like a phoenix, bursting through concrete and steel, into the early morning sky. Above them, the alien fleet reacted. Fighters poured from the motherships, sleek, fast, merciless. Eli's ship dodged and weaved, firing beams of light that cut through the clouds. Explosions lit the sky. Smoke trails followed falling enemies. "They're everywhere," Eli shouted. "But so are we," Lysara said. She activated the beacon from before. It pulsed once, then again. And suddenly, the Guardians awoke. From deep vaults across the planet, ancient ships rose. Hidden cities revealed their sleeping defenders. Old codes activated. Forgotten stations powered up. Humans, awakened by the call of their ancestors, stepped into roles they were born to forget. The last army of Earth had returned. A full-scale battle lit the sky. Earth's defenders, humans in recovered Guardian tech, rebel factions, secret keepers, and awakened hybrids, fought side by side against the usurper fleet. In the center of it all, Eli and Lysara cut a path toward the main mothership. "They're charging the Worldbreaker cannon," Lysara warned. "Then we shut it down." Eli dove toward the ship's core. Laser fire rained around them. Their shields began to crack. Systems blinked red. "Eli," Lysara said, "you have to eject, now." "No, you'll die. Not if I take it with me." He pushed the ship into a nosedive, straight at the cannon's heart. But at the last moment, he jumped. The Guardian armor unfolded, catching him mid-air. He flew like a comet, energy roaring from his arms. He slammed into the cannon, planting the stabilizer core. "Goodbye," he whispered. Then light. The explosion could be seen from orbit. The cannon collapsed. The mothership split apart. The fleet faltered. Without their command core, the enemy ships began to retreat, blinking out into hyperspace like dying stars. Earth was saved, but Eli was gone. Or so they thought. Weeks later, Lysara stood on a green hill beneath a blue sky. Stone marked the spot. Eli Walker, Guardian of Earth, the mechanic who became legend. But one night, under the stars, the wind shifted, and in the distance a figure stepped from the shadows. His eyes still glowed faintly. His voice was calm. "Miss me?" Lysara smiled through her tears. The Guardian had returned.